Chartered Accountant of Nigeria. Noble ICAN, noble ICAN, your accuracy we cherish. We uphold your integrity. How pleasant to see a new dawn, building on good foundation, molding accountants full of trust to raise ICAN's banner higher, wearing new hopes and visions, sowing seeds of greatness, steering ICAN to victory. Our bright future is now assured. Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Noble ICAN, noble ICAN, your accuracy we cherish. We uphold your integrity.
Bless God. I can fount of treasure in triumph among our race. Tell me stronger in harmony, building a land together. Dreams of our founding fathers, we are striving to attain, accounting values that we share. Through all ages, be sustained. Institute of Chartered Accountants noble likened, your accuracy we cherish. We uphold your integrity. Thank you.
Play. Father, we thank you very much for today. We lift your name high, we raise your name up. We give you all the glory, we give you all the honor, we give you all the adoration. We thank you for the love of this country. We thank you for our president. We thank you for the love of this our great institute. We thank you for the love of our president. We thank you for the love of the council members, the inductees, the pensioners, and the guests. We glorify your name. We give you all the glory. Take all the glory in the mighty name of Jesus. As we go on with the program, go with us. In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
صلوا على النبي الكريم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ya Allah, we thank you for making it possible to be here. We thank you for the journey mercy. Ya Allah, continue to bless the institute and its members. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you. Please have your seat. Be seated, please. Once again, we welcome the president of our great institute, Malam Ismaila Muhammadu Zachary, BSc, MNI, MBR, FCA. Please let's give him a round of applause. The 54th president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Also with us is the vice president of our great institute, Alhaji Razak Jayola, BSc, ACFB, CRISC, FCA, the vice president of our institute, aka AJ Silicon. You're welcome, sir. He's a father of an entrepreneur in the institute. He wants all of you to become entrepreneurs. So once again, we welcome you, sir. The second deputy vice president, the first deputy vice president of our institute is also present here, Mazi Nnamdi Okwadibo, JP, BSc, FCA. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much for coming around. We welcome the second deputy vice president, Mrs. Onome Joy Adewuyi, BSc, MSc, ACPIN, FCIB, FCA. She's the chairman of the Membership Affairs Committee that is in charge of this 60th induction ceremony. Please, another round of applause to the second deputy vice president. We also welcome Mrs. Comfort Olujumoke Eyitayo, MNI, CFA, FCA. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much for coming around. We welcome Her Royal Majesty Adaku Chidume Okoro, BSc, MSc, FCA. You're welcome, ma'am. We also welcome to our midst Malam Aruna Yahaya, BSc, MBA, ANIM, FCA. You're welcome. We also welcome Chief Davidson Stephen Alaribe, MA, CFA, MIMC, MNIN, FCA. Thank you very much for coming around, sir. We welcome Dr. Deji Awobotu, CAMC, CFE, MIOD, FCA. Thank you for coming around, sir. Thank you. And also in our midst, we have Mrs. Hilda Ozo, MBA, ACTI, FCA. We have Mr. Tajuddin Adewale Olayinka, also in our midst. He's a council member, BSc, MBF, FCA. Thank you for coming around, sir. Then the chief executive and the registrar. Oh, I'm sorry. One of the council members that are yet to be recognized is there. We have Reverend Samson Adewale Disu, BSc, MSc, CFA, FCTI, FCA. We also have our special guest of honor here. He's a past president of our great institute. She is Dr. Mrs. Catherine Opareke. She was the president of our great institute between 2006 and 2007. BA, MBA, MNIM, FCA. You welcome, ma'am. We also have the registrar and chief executive of our great institute in our midst, Mr. John Irapo Ebonage, MBA, FCA. We thank all of you for coming around, and we also want to sincerely congratulate our inductees and their guests for being part of this 60th induction ceremony of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Today, the president will be inducting 1,519 associate members of our great institute. This is the largest in the history of the induction of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. We sincerely congratulate all our inductees, and we appreciate God for making it possible for all of you to be here and be part of this induction ceremony. We also want to congratulate some of our council members who are also present here today, and some of their own children are here as inductees. We congratulate Alhaji Haruna Yahaya, whose son will be inducted today, Haruna Hamad Shehu. Where is Haruna Hamad Shehu? Congratulations. Congratulations. Our late second deputy vice president, two of our daughters today will also be inducted. Late Mrs. Uchenna Erobu, FCA. Also, our late second deputy vice president, Abdullahi Zubeiru, two of our daughters will also be inducted today. We say congratulations to these families. These are welcome developments, and we sincerely appreciate God that this is happening in our own time. We also congratulate some of our fellows whose daughters and sons will also be inducted today. We also say congratulations to all of you. Please, a round of applause to all of them. We told you yesterday that the Deputy Registrar, Corporate Services, is a fellow of our institute, and also his son is also a fellow of our great institute. Now, I want to invite the second Deputy Vice President of our great institute, Mrs. Onome Joy Adewumi, BSc, MSc, ACPIN, FCIB, FCA, the second Deputy Vice President of our institute, and the Chairman Membership Affairs Committee that is in charge of this induction ceremony, to introduce the special guest of honor.
The President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, the 53rd President, Alhaji Ismaila Muhammad Zachary, MNI, FBRO, FCA. The Vice President, Alhaji Razak Jayola, BSc, ACFE, CROISC, FCA. The First Deputy Vice President, Mazi Nnamdi Ukwadigo, JP, BSc, FCA. My fellow colleagues on council, Registrar Chief Executive, my distinguished and looking forward to be associates in the next maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour, invited guests, I say good morning to you all. It is indeed a privilege and really a rare honor for me to be standing here to have this opportunity to speak of one of the greatest icons I have met in my professional career, who incidentally 10 years ago, she was the president of this great institute. And I remember with so much nostalgia the great innovations and the indelible prints she left behind after her year of service as the president of this institute. I am indeed delighted to read the citation of Dr. Mrs. Catherine Ginika Okpareke, BA, MBA, DLIT, MNIM, MNI, FCA, as a special guest of honor of this great event. Before I go in there, let me congratulate every one of you that is on the 1,519 names that will be inducted this morning. Like the MC said, this is the largest size that we have had in the history of this institute. And I must congratulate Mr. President and the team that put this together. I will now read the citation of Dr. Mrs. Catherine Okpareke. Dr. Mrs. Catherine Okpareke, MNI, was born on 30th January 1955. A native of Arondiziogu in Idiatu North, local government area of Imo State. Her education. She attended Holy Family Convent School, London, from where she obtained her GCE O-levels. She bagged GCE A-levels from Welbrook College, London, and BA Honors degree in Accounting and Finance from Middlesex University at Henton, London in 1977. She also attended, I'm sure some of us were not born here. She also attended Emily Wolf College of Accountancy for her ACCA, which she obtained in 1978. Thank you. I think that was a deserved recognition. In 1982, she did an MBA degree program in finance and banking at the University of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. In 1986, she was awarded a Doctor of Humanities from the Missionary Full Gospel Ministerial Association, California, USA. In 2004, she was at the prestigious National Institute of Policy and Strategic Study, NIPS, Kurujos, and attained membership of the National Institute, NNI. In July 2006, she was awarded an honorary doctorate degree of letters, honoris caucus, by the Covenant University, Kenaland, Ota, Ogun State. Professional training and experience. Her professional training was with Gerald, Eden and Co. Chartered Accountants, London, in 1981. She became a fellow, Association of Certified Accountants of UK in 1982. She joined the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, and became a member of its council in 1989. In 1992, she became a fellow of ICAN. She served as chairman or member of virtually all committees of the ICAN Council. In May 2006, she was installed the 42nd President of ICAN. And in that capacity, she became the 5th female to attain that lofty height in the history of the institute. She also served as the Vice President of the accountancy bodies of West Africa, ABWA. She served on the Council of International Federation of Accountants, IFAC, the global body that regulates the accountancy profession in over 163 countries worldwide. I am sure the ladies in this house are proud of her. Thank you, madam. And also represented ICAN as the Professional Accountants in Business Committee, PAIB of IFAC. Her working career, she has been an entrepreneur of repute. She was the chairman of G's Management Services Limited, High Star Marine and Shipping Services Limited, Crown Star Limited, and several other companies, too numerous to mention. Before becoming an employer of labor, she had between 1975 and 1992 worked in various capacities in various companies. She was Executive Director of Finance and Planning, Gas Resources Limited, Financial Controller, Eastern Box and Finance and Planning Company Limited, Audit Supervisor, KPMG Management Accountant, Pan-African Bank Limited, and Intercompany Accountant, Spencer Univac UK Limited. She was the Chief Trainee Financial Consultant of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, under the Enterprise Nigeria Foundation. She served on several boards and parastatals, including Mercantile Bank PLC, Imo State Privatization and Investment Bureau, amongst many others. She is a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management, member of the board of the trustees of the Police Equipment Foundation, and was a member of the board of the Regents of Covenant University, Hotel Lagos. She is the beneficiary of over 60 meritorious awards, including the Kwame Nkrumah Leadership Merit Award, which was conferred on her as part of Ghana's 50th Independence Anniversary celebration. And Ada Imo, conferred on her by Imo Women in 2006. She served as the Honorable Commissioner of Finance, Imo State, as well as the Honorable Commissioner for Special Duties, Imo State. She was the Group Managing Director of Nikon Group of Companies, superintending over 14 companies within the group. She is Pioneer President of the African Women Business Network and also served on the Presidential Project Assessment Committee. She is a member of the National Stakeholders Working Group of the Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiatives, NITI. She was a delegate at the 2014 National Conference under the Christian Leader category, representing the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN. She is the Executive Vice Chairman of the Buy Nigeria Project, a public-private partnership domiciled in the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, PPP. Dr. Mrs. Okpareke is married with children. My dear professional colleagues, because I think I'm privileged to call you that since you have met all the requirements to be conferred with your membership number today. I understand I should use the word to be a professional colleague. Meet a distinguished Nigerian, an icon of repute, a thoroughbred professional, a quintessential lady of honor, a woman of God. I present to you as a special guest of honor today, Dr. Mrs. Catherine Ginikawa Opareke, BA Hons, MBA, DLit, MNI, FCA, past president and MNI, who will be our special guest of honor this afternoon. Can we give a round ovation for our woman of substance? Thank you so very much, and God bless you.
Praise the Lord. I give all the praise to God. The 53rd President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Malam Ismaila Muhammadu Zachary, FCA, MNI, the Vice President, ICAN, the first Deputy Vice President, the second Deputy Vice President, members of council, registered trust chief executive, distinguished future chartered accountants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have 15 minutes to charge us today, and I want to stir your minds on the subject developing an indigenous African economic strategy. Nigeria as a case study. It is my privilege to congratulate all inductees being conferred with the associate membership of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria with the insignia ACA at this ceremony. Today marks a very important landmark in your lives. I also wish to congratulate your parents, spouses, family and friends with whose support and encouragement you attain this enviable height. And some of them are also here today to share this glorious occasion with you. Today marks the fulfillment of your dreams and should indeed be celebrated. Let the champagnes pop. Let the music play on, and let the dancing begin. But at the end of the day, one reality will stare you all in the face. What next? One primary reason you embarked on this journey in the first place was to attain skills and competencies that will put you in a good stead to be gainfully employed, to generate and create wealth, and make meaningful contributions to your family, community, and the nation at large. What are the prospects in today's Nigeria? When I qualified in 1978, almost 40 years ago, things were different. When I came back to Nigeria, I applied to the 4 topmost audit firms. All of them offered me employment. And I had to make a choice. Is it still like that today? As per the National Bureau of Statistics, graduate unemployment in Nigeria is 47.3%. That means that about half of all graduating students nationwide in any one year cannot find jobs. That is a sad story. Now, let us examine the model of a typical successful enterprise. You'll all agree with me that the major components will be: number one, easy access to capital through equity, contributions, bank loans, stock market, etc. Two, you will expect a successful enterprise to have a board of directors headed by a chairman, and the board, of course, is responsible for policy, strategy, and they have oversight and management of the relationship between the organization, the larger society, government, etc. Three, you would expect to see a management team headed by managing director for the entire value chain and process management. Four, you'll have different departments as is necessary depending on the type of business. Obviously, one thing they must always have is finance and admin, and we always are relevant. Five, you have competent, skilled, and experienced staff in every department. Six, each department will be properly structured to produce maximum results, transparency, and accountability. And that's also where we come in setting up systems, making sure there are checks and balances, and that the system controls everybody. Seven, you have professional input for all services. They can afford the best lawyers, they can afford the best architects, the best engineers, for everything they need professional services for. And number eight, they will be training and retraining their staff so that they can always remain relevant. Number nine, you would expect technology to be at play with state-of-the-art tools and equipment, digital electronic processes, everything working online real time. 10, you'll expect monitoring and compliance with relevant laws and regulations so they don't infringe on government policies. You'll also expect good staff welfare. You'll also expect good communication networks at all levels. Of course, they'll have their annual AGM. Now, let us agree that all things being equal, a company structured in this manner would generate profits, pay handsome dividends to make their shareholders happy, and retain enough profits to expand and grow. Now, what I just described is the Western model of successful business enterprise, which has evolved over the years. It's been tried and tested. And this is the model every business, be it small, medium, or large, tries to emulate. It forms the standard everyone is striving to attain, with each entity trying to achieve it as a standalone. Let us also agree, therefore, that a successful business enterprise needs the following components to function effectively. That is to say, summarizing all the 13 factors I had listed earlier and reducing them to 7, you must have an excellent business idea. We are all agreed. You must have capital, access to capital. You must have a board, some sort of board for policy direction. You must have a management team to manage the value chain and to monitor performance. You must have some form of mentorship. You must have professional input, services input, and you must have to train and retrain your staff. Now, question, that's where we are going. Must all these components be present in each and every entity? I wish to humbly submit that it is the expectation that each business enterprise must come up with not just a great business idea, but also have money or the ability to raise capital and perform at the peak of efficiency that is the bane of our economic malaise. Why, for God's sake, do you expect a fresh inductee, like most of you here, not only to have great business ideas, which I'm sure you all have, but also to have the capital to drive it efficiently and effectively, to create wealth and generate employment? For a start, most banks will not look at you if you're just a start-up, would they? Business ideas must not necessarily go with ownership of capital, or technology, or sound management, or state-of-the-art processes, or global best practices. They don't need to be resident in one single unit. We are going somewhere, and you see where we are going soon. The economic model that requires it to be so creates so much inequality, wastages, unemployment, underemployment, low capacity utilization, etc. That is why I submit to you that mangoes are in abundance and wasting in Benue State at harvest season, when they are in short supply in supermarkets in New York City. And the youth in Benue are unemployed and idling. Opportunities are wasting, and on the aggregate, the economy remains stagnant, insecurity increases, and the cycle continues unmitigated. Why should the women in Plateau, drying onions, peppers, and tomatoes, be required to do more than that to succeed? Why do you require them to know how to get NAFDAC number? Why do you require them to know how to follow the processes of Standards Organization for Nigeria and obtain the right certificates? Or even be able to obtain their tax clearance certificates? Or even be able to know the export quality standards for their products, for packaging and presentation, for it to be a global product? Isn't it unfair to expect it of them to succeed? Why should the rice farmers in Kebbi State be expected to do more than farming and producing the raw material to succeed? The Asian tigers took their destiny in their own hands when they discovered that the Western economic system was not working for them. They rejected World Bank and IMF loans and grants with their corresponding conditionalities. They shut themselves in and worked out an indigenous system that worked for them. They started the small and medium enterprises entrepreneurship revolution that became the engine of economic growth for their economies. Today, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, etc., are competing effectively with the United States and Europe. Time has come for Africa to take its destiny in its own hands. This is compelling when viewed within the context of our underdevelopment status, with serious deficits in infrastructure, in power, education, technology, etc. So, what is the way forward? I am the Executive Vice Chairman of the Buy Naija project, a public-private partnership domiciled in the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. At Buy Naija, we have developed a template we nicknamed Hope Naija, meaning there is hope for Nigeria out of this economic quagmire. Hope Naija is a departure from the individual or personal model of doing business to a community-based approach, It does not believe that the structure and competencies required to run a successful business enterprise should be domiciled in one single entity. All the 7 modules identified as important and necessary components of a successful business enterprise, we already listed earlier, are activated, each functioning independently in a fully coordinated and integrated manner to create a grassroots-based, idiot-friendly, sustainable, foolproof economic model that generates massive activity and profit for all participants. The primary structures include the following: 1, fund owners; 2, project management team; 3, companies empowered under the scheme; 4, council of professionals; 3, council of mentor elders and training schools, etc. The detailed mechanics are as follows. It starts with massive capital mobilization at different levels. The structure can be put at a national level, state level, community level. Corporate organizations can deploy their social corporate responsibility fund for this purpose. Cooperatives, trade unions, etc. The fund owners are encouraged to set up a project fund or foundation, and the fund is domiciled inside a fund account with a bank. 2, fund owners set up what we call project advisory board that manages the fund, which must include 2 persons from the Buy Naija project management team, one of whom must be the secretary of the advisory board. This provides the necessary interface between the advisory board and the project managers. The Buy Naija project management team is the next structure, and it's in charge of the entire value chain and process management, from input factors, farm gate, through to output factors, finished products. 4, individuals to be empowered are identified based on criteria established by the advisory board, but they are grouped in a minimum of 3 to 5 and incorporated as shareholder directors of their own companies. This project does not empower individuals. Statistics have it that 70% of all so-called empowerment programs across the nation, 70% fail in the first 1 year. 5, all the companies are empowered with equity, with 20% of all profit accruing to fund owners. Now, this principle, Bible students may recall that was the principle established by Joseph in Egypt, in Genesis chapter 47, verse 25. 6, council of mentor elders are set up by the management team of persons who are retired but not tired, and these are assigned on the boards of the companies as appropriate for mentorship and guidance. 7, the project management team also has a register of council of professionals that provide necessary professional inputs into the system, either at individual corporate levels or general management issues. Training is provided by accredited training institutions. The companies are located in clusters as much as possible so they can share common services at minimum cost to each participating company. 10, the entire community grows and develops, and the management team channels their savings into housing, education, insurance, banking, etc. Nobody is permitted to buy out anybody. The greed quotient is very low. That is to say, it's a managed system. You know, we don't want a money bag to come suddenly and see the thing is working and buy out everybody and enslave everybody. People must remain shareholder directors in their company. Persons leaving the community sell back their shares back to the fund owners. In essence, hitherto unemployed graduates are working within this system as employee, shareholder, directors of their own companies, together with others, availed of mentoring and guidance of experts, having necessary professional input at minimum cost, having their product meet world standards, and being marketed worldwide. Enjoying the comfort and convenience of community life and prospering at the same time. I submit that this model, with its implicit wealth creation and job creation quotient, will see everybody willing and are able to work to be gainfully employed. Buy Naija is about to roll out Hope Naija. Watch out for it. And watch out for buynaija.com, which is going to be an online platform for selling made in Nigeria goods. And that is one of the portals we will use to expose Nigerian goods worldwide. I cannot end this address without thanking the 53rd President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Malam Ismaila Zachary, for giving me this opportunity to interact with this great assembly this morning. Thank you, Mr. President, sir. I celebrate you. Your tenure has brought back the much desired peace and progress to ICAN. May you live long and ascend greater heights hereafter. Finally, let me once again wish every inductee here today success for the future. More importantly, I pray for you that you discover yourselves and collide with your destinies in God. Go and possess your world. Go and make a difference. Arise and shine, for your light is come. Thank you for listening.
Please, another round of applause for our special guest of honor. She's a wonderful woman. She has really encouraged us. We sincerely thank you for coming around, man. We appreciate your efforts. Thank you very much. It's now time to invite the Registrar Chief Executive of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Mr. John Irabo, MBA, FCA. Please, a round of applause for him. If you don't clap for him, if you withdraw your certificate, well, it's up to you. He can do it, though. Round of applause, please. Okay. He said he's not going to do that now that we have clapped for him. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Congratulations once more for passing your examination. You still have a long way to go. Maybe if you try hard before afternoon, you will collect your certificate. You know, before you are giving your certificate, you must make sure you have good behavior. So if you are not of good behavior, even right now, we can take it back. But that's not your portion. You have heard from the past president, she has prayed for you, and I join her to say amen. Very soon you will hear from the 53rd president of our great institute. The past president has also spoken about her, but let me just give you a small brief, because he's a man of great humility. If we want to go into his profile, we might have to write another examination. The 53rd president of this great institute is Alhaji Ismaila Muhammadu Zachary, MNI, FBR, FCA. He is the managing partner of Ahmed Zachary & Co., a firm of chartered accountants he co-founded in partnership with other professional colleagues in 1998. And this firm provides auditing and assurance services, tax advisory, insolvency, business consulting, and business valuation services to a wide range of clients in Nigeria. He's the man that is not taking a stroll. He's working with other people to build a greater nation. As managing partner, he's responsible for providing leadership and strategic direction to a resourceful team of multidisciplinary professionals, providing high-quality client service engagements, thereby creating value for numerous clients in the private and public sector, and even now providing the same leadership and strategic direction for this our great institute. I thought I would hear a round of applause for you. Alhaji Zachary is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and a member of ICAN Governing Council since 2004. So he has spent over 13 years serving this institute. He has served on many ICAN committees as chairman or member at different times. And I'm sure some of you who are here, he superintended over your examination process. So if you passed when he was there, give him a round of applause. He's a member of BRIPAN, that is the Business Recovery and Insolvency Practitioners Association of Nigeria, where he also serves as a council member. He graduated from the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria in 1986, and also King's College, Lagos in 1982. So he's a King's man. He's a member of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, otherwise known as NIPS in Kuru, Jos, having successfully attended the Senior Executive Course number 33 in 2011. No wonder he's a man of deliberate strategic prowess. Alhaji Zachary has attended numerous training courses both in Nigeria and overseas, and is a regular speaker in the fields of accounting, auditing, taxation, corporate finance, insolvency, leadership, and practice management. You can be like him if you put your energy to continuing practice after this. This is not the end of learning. He's actively involved in serving the public interest and the development of his community. He serves on the board of trustees of Jigawa Forum in his home state, Jigawa State, Nigeria, and is happily married with children. Welcome the 53rd president. I think you should stand up and welcome, give honor to who honor is due, because as you honor him, you also will be honored as president.
Thank you. Please be seated. The special guest of honor at this special occasion of the 60th induction ceremony, Chief Dr. Catherine Ginikanwa Pareke, MNI, FCA, past president. The Vice President of ICAN, Alhaji Razak Jayola, the First Deputy Vice President of ICAN, Mazi Nnamdi Okwadigo, the Second Deputy Vice President of ICAN, Mrs. Onome Joy Adewi, distinguished members of council here present, Registrar Chief Executive of ICAN, Mr. John Ebodage, FCA, distinguished inductees, members of their families, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Governing Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, I am most delighted to welcome you all to the 60th ICAN induction ceremony, which is one of our most important events in the ICAN annual calendar. In accordance with the Institute's rules and traditions, induction ceremony is organized to specially congratulate the outstanding, brilliant, and visionary ladies and gentlemen inductees who have aspired, toiled, and successfully passed the Institute's qualifying examinations. To formally welcome and admit them into the disciplined accountancy profession and the membership of our noble institute, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. And finally, to administer the Institute's oath of allegiance, signifying the inductees' unwavering commitment to our revered ethical values of integrity, objectivity, professional competence, and due care, confidentiality, and professional behavior in service delivery and value creation. It is therefore my great pleasure and honor to heartily congratulate the 1,519 distinguished ladies and gentlemen who are to be admitted today into the membership of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, having successfully gone through rigorous qualifying process characterizing our Institute's examinations. I want to also extend a very warm congratulations to your spouses, family, friends, and well-wishers who have come in very large number to witness and felicitate with our inductees at today's joyous occasion. From a modest beginning with 250 members in 1965, the Institute has been in the business of training and producing chartered accountants who are highly talented, ethically committed professionals working in every sphere of the Nigerian economy, combining their unrivaled knowledge and skills to support businesses, public sector organizations, not-for-profits, individuals, and communities to achieve their financial and strategic goals. Today, ICAN members hold influential positions in Nigeria and around the world as business leaders, public administrators, decision makers, and trusted advisors. By the end of this induction ceremony, the membership of our institute will rise to 43,293. I wish to state with much delight that today's admission ceremony is the climax of the induction ceremonies which started yesterday, 7th of November 2017, with lectures on various ethical and professional issues. In addition to the lectures you received, you are required to regularly read, imbibe, and conform with these rules and rules of professional conduct which are contained in greater detail in the Institute's membership handbook. Let me reiterate that although these rules have local application, they nevertheless conform to internationally acceptable standards because of our Institute's continuing membership and active role in the International Federation of Accountants, the global accountancy body that regulates the practice of accountancy across more than 130 countries, with more than 3 million trained professional accountants worldwide. Our institute has at all times maintained the ethical standards required of professionals in line with IFAC Code of Conduct for members. Recently, the Institute adopted a new code issued by International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants, ISBA. This code, known as Non-Compliance with Laws and Regulations,